What can Diigo do for you? Diigo is an abbreviation of Digest of Internet Information, Groups, and Other Stuff. The website focuses on providing better ways to process, manage, share, and discover information. This effort to present information readily and in new ways is what makes Diigo such a phenomenal tool. Vast arrays of exclusive and saving are just a few of the opportunities that await the avid student at Diigo.
How can Diigo make researching easier and faster? The research process is continually expanding and evolving as technology opens new and exciting opportunities that were once impossible. As technology adds new options to the research process, it can also add more headaches and confusion to those who are unprepared to handle all the information it has to offer. For those who are overwhelmed with the trials and tribulations of researching, Diigo is the solution to all research problems. Diigo encompasses every aspect of the researching process and combines research tools that were once impossible to use together. It also offers benefits traditional research methods cannot hope to compete with, and will forever change the once stressful process that is researching. The first step in the research process is usually to find relevant, up-to-date information. Diigo has this step covered with its socially interactive ability. Diigo users can search for other users who share common interests or may have particular insight into specific topics by looking at their profile interests and groups. Users can view others' bookmarked lists to find resources and are able to view the notes, comments, and sticky notes that other users may have left on web pages. This can drastically cut research time down, as the most important information is already highlighted and explained for the researcher. A researcher can also type his or her research topic into the Diigo search engine to find useful information. Web pages concerning this topic will appear, as well as the number of times those pages have been bookmarked by Diigo members. The most useful pages will be those that are bookmarked most often, so the researcher will not have to waste any time reading useless pages of information. Once sources are located, they need to be read critically, and notes have to be taken to remind the researcher of key thoughts included within the source. Diigo offers an innovative approach to this step of the research process. Words, sentences, and paragraphs can be highlighted directly on web pages using the Diigo toolbar. The researcher can then make comments on the highlighted information and save them for later use. Once saved, the researcher can tag the page or bookmark it to a specific list to help him recall that page's specific importance. All of one person's research information can thus be organized in one specific area, thoroughly documented and available to you at any time. For those working on a collaborative research project with several other people, Diigo has just the right tools. Diigo users can create their own research groups so that all individuals working on the research project can view the same information and write comments to one another. Although some researchers may be hesitant to use such a new researching tool, once they enter Diigo's site and experience the ease and simplicity that it adds to the process of researching, few will be able to live without it. Researching now requires more diligence and technique than ever before to sift through the multitudes of readily available information at one's fingertips. Thankfully, Diigo is here not only to make the research process less painful, but also to add a new joy to the whole experience.
How can Diigo be integrated into the study of literature? Diigo's capability to annotate text is its greatest feature for students of literature. There are many websites that provide full-text documents of literary works. By using these sources, readers can highlight and sticky note passages of the text to ensure reading comprehension and engagement. Students are able to engage with the text by technological means, which will feel comfortable and relevant to the contemporary student. You might ask, how does this work in the classroom? For example, if the students are to read Stephen Crane's The Open Boat, the teacher could direct the students to an online version of the short story. After giving initial instructions, the teacher could provide several minutes in the beginning of class for students to read and annotate the text. Several examples for instructions might be: sticky note 3 situations which you find to be ironic. highlight any allusions to death, or follow the path of one specific character by highlighting every detail about him or her. By pulling up the web page summary from the Diigo toolbar, the teacher then has a master copy of all the work that the students have completed. Each student can then be prepared to explain his or her choices, which is an excellent start to a literary discussion. There is yet another way that Diigo can encourage students to engage with literature. Teachers must recognize that today's literature students frequently use available technologies. Take SparkNotes, for instance. Rather than ignoring the existence of these technologies, teachers can employ Diigo to help students to learn to be shrewd consumers of such resources. For any given work of literature, SparkNotes offers plot summaries, character descriptions and analyses, discussions of themes, symbols, motifs, and important questions. Most students treat anything that is posted online as golden truth, by forcing students to recognize that fallible humans formulated those documents and that interpretations of literature are rarely so cut and dried as SparkNotes would suggest. A teacher can put to good use these technologies, which are usually deemed unfit for literary studies. For practical application in the classroom, a teacher might provide class time for the students to visit the SparkNotes page for The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn after studying the primary document. The teacher could assign groups of students to the summary of a particular character. The students would be instructed to read the character summary with a critical mindset. Is there anything that you can add to the character summary? Is there anything included in the summary which you think is not thoroughly evidenced by the text? What would you change? Individually, the students could sticky note their alterations and provide textual support from The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. After a brief time, they could reconvene with the group studying the same character. Then as a team, they could plan a statement to share with the whole class. Instead of analyzing characters, perhaps the teacher would like to focus on several important quotations in the book. First, students could review the quotations that SparkNotes suggests to be important. Then they could choose a quotation to engage with more deeply. The teacher would prompt students to respond to one or more of the following questions. What was your initial reaction to the quotation when reading the work? Do you agree with SparkNotes' analysis of the quotation? Why or why not? Do you think the quotation is significant? Why or why not? Or the teacher might ask instead that the students locate in the original text a quotation that they consider to be equally important and defend their choices. Diigo's capability to store group bookmarks would also be a beneficial feature in the study of literature. When a teacher has decided which websites work best for the desired instructional elements, he or she can add these sites to the group's listing of sites, which would greatly facilitate the process of locating online material. While most of the examples we've given pertain only to a very limited geographic region, there is a big world out there. Technology, such as Diigo, knows no spatial barriers. Diigo educators can network online to provide their students with a more multicultural lens of studying literature. For instance, a teacher in York, Pennsylvania could add a classroom from the United Kingdom to join in the discussion of a particular work of literature. The only true limitation to using Diigo in the study of literature is the scope of an educator's creativity. The sky's the limit.
Diigo provides a necessary bridge between an artificial classroom and students' realms of technology. You too can connect to this resource at www.diigo.com. Inspire, network, create.